everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're gonna start the new year with, of course, a book haul because those are what I film nowadays, apparently. But this is technically like a December book haul, but I think some of these came before December and a little bit after December. But as of right now, these are all of the books that I have to haul for you. So let's just get into the books. So the first two books that I have to show you are the same book, but two different versions. I kind of didn't do an unboxing for my subscriptions in December because December was insane. Holidays just got crazy and filming just didn't happen. So these are the two books that I got in my uppercase box and my Owlcrate for the month of December. They are the same book, but of course Owlcrate has an exclusive cover. So these are the two versions of Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills, which I can't decide which one I like better. I really like that Owlcrate does exclusive covers because it makes me feel special, but I like both of them. I think I like the color scheme. This is the Owlcrate version. This is like the regular version that you can find in stores. And I just really like the color schemes for both of them. The uppercase version comes signed, and this is the original cover, and it's pink underneath. It has a really cool naked cover as well. And then the Owlcrate came with a little patch, a signed book plate, and then the letter. And even the actual naked cover itself was different, so that was pretty cool. So the regular is pink and the Owlcrate version is blue. So I have both versions of this, and I have actually already read this, and I'm not gonna lie, I adored this story. I didn't know I was in the mood for a contemporary, but I flew through this. I love it so much. This is just kind of a really easy, fun, seriously really funny YA contemporary just about high school life and A Midsummer Night's Dream and just kind of an in-between stage. It's just very nostalgic for your teenage years and I adored it. I will include it in some sort of wrap-up if I ever get around to filming those anymore because who knows. So, okay, moving on to the next book. I picked up a copy of Otherworld, and this is by Jason Segel, I don't know, and Kirsten Miller. This I wanted to read because I'm really into the gaming phenomenon trend that seems to be showing up more and more in books, which I love. So this is in the same vein as Ready Player One or Warcross, where it takes place in a virtual reality game this time around, and I've heard really good stuff about it. So I'm very excited to pick this up. I found it at Target for like a Black Friday promo where it was like $8, I think, so yes, I bought it. And in that same random Target trip, I also picked up A Map for Rec Girls, and this is by Jessica Taylor. This was also on sale for like $8, so I bought it. I didn't know much about this, and to be honest, I still don't, but I've heard amazing reviews, as in like people just read it in one sitting and couldn't put it down, which I am always for books like that. I believe this is about sisters who get stranded on an island and they have to find their way back to each other. So it sounds great. It's blurbed by a lot of people like Stephanie Garber, Julie Murphy, Stacey Lee. It's just sounds great. Moving into some review books that I got this month. I got, I think, 4 titles from Sky Pony Press, which is an amazing smaller publishing company, and I love working with them. I got a copy of The Temptation of Adam, and this is by Dave Connis. This sounds super intriguing. So this is a YA contemporary, but with like a darker, more heavy tone to it. It's basically about a boy who is addicted to porn and goes to like a self-help type group, meets a girl there, story continues from there. This is one of those things where I just love that very real, taboo, undiscussed topics that are actually happening in society today are finally like making their way into the book world. So this is just a really unique, really probably heavy, I have not read it, story that I have been really intrigued by. So far the reviews that I've seen of it have been really good. So who knows, maybe this is a topic that is going to finally start making its way into the mainstream lit community, and I'm pretty intrigued by it. I also got a copy of Brooding YA Hero. This is by Cara Dorisio, who is a Twitter phenomenon, which just sounds amazing. It's partly a writing guide and partly kind of a self-told story about becoming the swoony, what is his name? Broody McHottie Pants. So it's poking fun at all of the YA tropes that keep showing up and how to write that and fit into all of those cliche characters and stereotypes, but it's also kind of like a helpful writing guide as far as like very modern YA writing, and I am so excited to read this. I love self-aware type stories where we know all of the cliches and tropes and tones that are in YA right now and just totally destroying them, picking them apart, and making them as glorious as they are in the actual YA book community. So I'm very excited to read this. I also got 2 arcs from them, and I'm so excited for this one. I got a copy of Chainbreaker by Tara Sim. This is the sequel to Timekeeper, which looks like this, and this is a very steampunk kind of story. It's in an alternate Victorian London where we are following clockmakers, and in this world, clocks actually control time, not really the other way around. So if the clock stops, time stops. So this is gonna be an awesome series. I'm gonna do an actual review of both of these books, but look at the covers. Oh, I can't handle these covers. They're so good. But these are blurbed by awesome people. This is blurbed by Victoria Schwab, so there's an alert for you guys, but it's just, I'm so excited. It has LGBT plus romance in it, it has steampunky goodness, it has time and clocks, and just good stuff. So I'm very excited to review these books for you guys on my channel. And they also sent me an arc of The Beginning Woods by Malcolm McNeil, which wasn't on my radar because it is middle grade, and I generally don't read middle grade, but this has gotten really great starred Kirkus reviews, and this is what was recommended to me. This is not even close to the final cover. I will leave the Goodreads linked down below to the actual final cover. This is coming out in March of 2018. And like I said, this is a middle grade book, but it seems pretty heavy. It's a fantasy kind of in the tone of Inkheart or Coraline, where it's set in the real world where vanishings start happening. People just start vanishing, a pile of clothes is left behind, and this kid Max, who lives in a bookstore, takes it upon himself to find out what is causing these vanishings and goes into a magical world called The Beginning Woods to solve this mystery. It just sounds super fun. Sounds amazing from the reviews so far, so I'm pretty excited to pick this up and let you guys know what I think of it. I also got sent an arc of The Heartforger by Rin Chapeko, which is the sequel to The Bone Witch, which I adored. This is not the final cover, clearly, there's a sticker that says that, and I really like this color scheme, but the actual cover of this is more of like a wintry looking scene. It's this same cover, but it's set in white with red filigree around it, but I kind of like these colors a lot, so I wish this were the actual cover. But yes, this is the sequel to The Bone Witch, which was an amazing kind of geisha-inspired story about necromancy and raising the dead and really intense, dark, magical witch powers, which I loved the first one. I'm so excited to have an arc of this one. This comes out in March as well. Oh, I'm so excited to read and review this for you guys. I also picked up a copy of Renegades by Marissa Meyer because, hello, it's Marissa Meyer. I had to get a copy of this for myself, so I got the Target version, which is like a foil cover, which I really like, and it has a Q&A in the back with Marissa Meyer, so I'm so excited. I'm currently reading this. I am almost done with it, so I will probably finish this within the day, and again, hopefully have somewhat of a review or thoughts in some video in the future. I don't know how I'm gonna do wrap-ups from now on because they're starting to get overwhelming because I'm starting to read about like 15 to 20 books a month. That's a lot of books to talk about in one wrap-up video, so I might start doing like mini reviews or something. I am loving this. This is like a villain superhero-y type story, which I didn't know I was in the mood for. I am loving it so much. So definitely got a copy of this to go with my whole Lunar Chronicles, they're up here somewhere, Lunar Chronicles story by Marissa Meyer. This is completely separate, but I just love Marissa Meyer's writing, so I had to buy this. I also picked up a copy in time for Christmas, so I've already read this, of The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I read this pretty much like the week before Christmas, and it got me in a Christmassy mood. This is like a modern YA, not really retelling, more of a reimagining of A Christmas Carol with Scrooge, where it follows a very spoiled, nasty girl who kind of gets visited by all the ghosts like Scrooge does in A Christmas Carol, but instead of succeeding and becoming a better person, she dies. And after she dies, she gets recruited into Project Scrooge, which is a project where they recreate the Christmas Carol story every year for one particularly nasty person in the world to try and see if they will, again, become better like Scrooge does. So it was just really fun, a really cool take on a classic, which was just really uniquely done. I just really enjoyed it. So again, who knows, review possibly coming for this. Then for Christmas, my mom and I got each other these two books because I introduced my mom to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers because I read this a couple months ago and fell in love with this book. So she read it, had to have it, so we bought each other copies of this one, and then we also got the sequel, A Closed and Common Orbit. I just love this series. I haven't read this one yet. My mom has, says that it's also amazing. So I'm very excited to have final copies of these. I think this might be the UK covers, which I kind of liked, but I liked the cover of the audiobook that I listened to for this because it kind of reminded me of Firefly, which is what the series reminds me of. But I actually really enjoy these covers, so I'm pretty excited to read this in time for the third one to come out later this year. If you haven't read these, it's amazing. It's very character-driven sci-fi, very reminiscent of Firefly in my opinion. I loved it. So I picked up both of these, well, for my mom, and then she got me these for Christmas. And speaking of Christmas presents and my mom, who instilled the love of reading in me, so we always get each other books. This is a copy that my mom has had for a really long time that she gifted to me, and this is a copy of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets that is the leather-bound, gold-embossed edition that is like a limited edition version that she found in a bargain section at Barnes & Noble for like $1. This is priced at $75 regularly, and this was a limited edition like years ago, so who knows what this is worth. She has had it for a very long time sitting on her shelf, didn't really know what to do with it, was going to sell it, and I was like, are you crazy? So she gave this to me for Christmas. So now this is going to sit on my shelf with all of my Harry Potter stuff. And I kind of am hoping to maybe find, not the rest of the series, but maybe more of these if I can find them because they're beautiful. It still has like the plastic coating on it because I'm not taking that off, are you crazy? But it's nice and leathery and beautiful, and it's the UK edition. So this is now on my shelf. As per tradition between my mom and I, my mom has been buying me the illustrated Harry Potter editions for Christmas every year. So we're on the third one, and I'm sure everybody has seen this already, but this is the illustrated version of Prisoner of Azkaban, which is my personal favorite Harry Potter. I know that's a little controversial. Not many people like the third one. I adored it because hello, Buckbeak. I love this one so much. So I was so excited for this version to come out. So again, this is gonna go on my Harry Potter shelf and sit there in all of its glory and Harry Potterness. I love it. And then one of my book friends, who is steadily becoming the coolest person that I know, had an extra copy of this book that was like slightly damaged, so they sent her a new one, and she asked if I wanted to keep this one. I said yes, and that is The City of Brass by, no clue, S.A. Chakraborty, right? That's totally how you say it. This has been recommended to me by a lot of people on Goodreads, and it just sounds super intriguing. I believe it's an adult fantasy set in historical Cairo, and it just sounds amazing. There's magic in it, and summoning, and treachery. It just sounds like an amazing fantasy story with magic in it, but in a very Middle Eastern setting, which I'm loving that this is coming out a lot recently, but I've heard nothing but amazing stuff about this book. Like, the reviews are up there for this one. So thank you, Shayna, so much for this. I'm very excited to have a copy of it so we can read it together. And that is it for this haul. That's enough, right? That's a lot of books. Yeah, I got many books in December. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If any of you have read any of these, let me know, and I will start moving them up my TBR pile. Some of those review books will be coming soon, and that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I hope you're reading some amazing books currently, and I will see you in my next video.